Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Sports Point, brought to you by Pointer Studios. I am your host, Jacob Spoerl. To my right, we've got intramural champion Brett McNamara and rugby president here at Stevens Point, Cole Schneider. Welcome back. Spring break just happened, and the Brewers season is starting soon. We're in the middle of March Madness. It's madness, right, guys?
Yeah. Sure was madness. Somebody was mad.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us were mad, let's be honest.
Guys, the Wisconsin Badgers, they made it to the Sweet. Oh. Wait, did they lose the first weekend again? I'm so sorry. that was oof.
Ready? Hey, you want to say it together? 3, 2, 1.
Guard.
Here, you want my you can take the flag.
That's for Greg Guard. Greg Guard, I'll just see you in your nightmares. Get ready.
So, yeah, the Badgers lost first round. Got upset by 12-seeded High Point, a team that I didn't know, or a school that I didn't know that existed.
It's their first time making the tournament.
So, I don't know about that, but it's their first tournament win.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was.
I guess you can say that the Badgers hit their low point of the season.
Oh, gosh. Sorry, Vince. Anyways, we're back from break. We got a calm little 2 months left here for this semester, and then I go off into the sunset.
Don't say that.
Okay, sorry. I'll be here forever. I'll just sleep under the desk. We'll start off with our crowning champion segment. My crowning champion for this week is Dylan Darling, who I believe was a sophomore on the St. John's basketball team. He scored the game-winning shot for St. John's against Kansas in round 2 of March Madness. Did you see something, Brett? Do we have breaking news?
The Bucks are releasing Andre Jackson Jr.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Not expecting that. I thought he would have been traded, but here we are.
We just got him.
Well,
we just cut him?
Yeah.
No, the trade deadline's over, right?
Well, I
After
thought
the
he would have been
season.
traded during the season or after the season. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
during the
yeah,
trade
yeah.
deadline. That's
I
okay.
wonder what the reason is behind that.
We got a little Bucks breaking news as the season comes down to a halt or a crash.
He didn't do it
Guys.
anyways. I don't care.
Is that the guy? Wait.
That's the dunk contest guy.
Yeah.
44. Yeah, he was drafted in the second round in 2022.
I was like, we
I
drafted
like
him
Who
a
even
while
won the
ago.
dunk
last-
contest this year?
This year?
Oh, I don't know.
Wasn't Mac
it
McClung?
wasn't
That's all that
Chase
matters.
Richards.
Wasn't Mac
Oh,
McClung,
is that?
dude.
Oh God, it was.
We
that
got
one guy.
distracted. But yeah,
Sorry.
Dylan Darling, that's my crowning champion. He scored his only basket of the game. He went 0 for 4 during the game and up until the final shot. He talked with the coach at the timeout saying that he has the play, has him drawing up the middle off of like a deep pick and roll, and then he comes in and shoots a layup. And because it went so fast, the head coach didn't realize that. He's like, oh my gosh, like you haven't scored a bucket all game. Sure enough, scores the buzzer beater, game-winning layup against Kansas. They move on to the Sweet 16 to play Duke. That is my crowning champion, Dylan Darling. Brett, who is yours?
My crowning champion is the point guard for the Arkansas Razorbacks, Darius Acuff Jr. Wow. I mean, he is going to be easily a lottery pick, probably a top 5 pick, maybe top 10. But last night, 2 days ago against High Point, he had 36 points, a rebound, and 6 assists. The game before that, he had 24 points, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists. And then in their tournament, the SEC tournament, 30 points, 3 rebounds, and 11 assists in that championship game against Vanderbilt. So, yeah, this kid is absolutely insane. And just the draft class in general this year is going to be probably the best since LeBron's draft class, I'm going to be honest.
Ooh.
Like, it's going to be up there. There's
I guess
a
we're
lot
gonna
of
see
talent.
if that's gonna be a build take in a couple months.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
season.
like there's an obvious star.
Yeah.
Every year's draft, like it was Wemby a couple years ago. Last year was Cooper Flagg. This year,
AJ Dibanza.
DeBansta, Cameron Boozer.
oh yeah, is Boozer? I thought.
Wilson, Caleb Wilson.
Why did I think one of the? No, they're twins.
There's Caden. I don't think he's going to. I would say Caden
taller
stays
one
another
you're
year. I think
talking
Cameron.
about. Yeah.
Cameron's going
Cam
for
Boozer.
sure.
All right.
But even then, like a lot of them are like saying that they might come back. So, which would be crazy.
We'll see. Cole, who is your crowning champion for this week?
I chose the St. John's men's basketball team. They're making my bracket work pretty well. I have them winning it all in one of my brackets.
Whoa! Wow.
Yeah, I do. One thing that might bite me in the butt, though, is that I have them Duke winning in another one of my brackets, and they play each other this weekend. I don't know how I had that work out, but we'll see how it goes. Whichever one wins, I'll cheer for. rest of the way.
I have both Duke and oh no, that's Arkansas.
But right now I'm cheering for St. John's because I don't know, just we've seen Duke win it so many times.
Yeah, it's been over a decade though since they won their last tournament.
Well, I mean, they're always hyped up and they always
Who
end up
did
losing.
they beat
So
to win the last one?
it's a great question.
Who, Duke?
Mm-hmm.
In what?
Championship.
I hate both of you guys.
Like did you guys not realize what I was doing? Sorry. There's a little bit of Badger shit. Okay.
I have depression. It's okay.
St. John, they were able to beat Kansas 67-65 in a nail biter.
What number?
67.
Moving on to the 3-point Tri-Campus Roundup brought to you by Point Brewery. This week's and this month's flavor of the month is Concord Grape, a handcrafted spin on a classic soda flavor made with
still March, Cole.
With 100% real sugar. Point Premium Concord Grape takes the purple goodness of your favorite jams and popsicles and adds the right amount of carbonation to make it pop. Ooh, that was a clean one. I'll have my sip in a second. Guys, March Madness, like low-key, okay. Last year, we had an episode talking about, I think we called it like mid-madness. Do you guys remember? Like, you were on that episode, I think Liam Stats was. Mm-hmm. We kind of talked about, like, overall, the March Madness tournament last year wasn't bad, but it was kind of.
It was chalk.
It was a little forgettable. Yeah. Like, it was a little forgettable. It was like all one seeds that went to the Final Four. Like, it was kind of boring.
Meh.
After the first weekend, the first 2 rounds, gentlemen, how do we think this one's turning out?
Definitely a lot more entertaining. Just the amount of lower seeds that are making it this far. Like I said, St. John's 5 seed making Sweet 16. Right now, Iowa beat Florida. That was pretty awesome to see a 9 seed beating the 1 seed. Florida, the defending champions, too.
I don't know what they're doing defensively in that. Or even
that was so dumb. Thank you. Oh, my gosh. I picked Florida to go to my Final Four. They botched that last defensive possession against Iowa. I don't know how you let their best shooter wide open.
I was so confused because at the end of it too, Xavier Lee, the point guard for the Gators, he dribbled all the way down to the hoop, and then he circled around it. I'm like, okay, he's gonna do a reverse layup, and then he tried passing it the last second. It's like, dude, like, go up.
Oh
with
yeah,
it.
at
There's
the end,
4
with
seconds
the last
left.
4
There's
seconds.
4 seconds. I understand. It's like
4 seconds.
Like the adrenaline's
4
rushing.
seconds.
4 seconds. It took you 4 seconds. Anyway, yeah. So that was the big one. I mean, that's the biggest upset I've got on here so far. That number 1 Florida lost to number 9 Iowa on that side of the bracket. That was in the second round. The other big upset that happened was in round 1, where 12-seeded High Point beat number 5-seeded Wisconsin in the first round. That was High Point's first ever NCAA tournament win. And it was, of course, I think, what was his last name? Carlston, something like that?
Oh, I don't know, number 99.
He had
Chase Johnston.
Chase Johnson had a bunch of 3-point shots, which is what he did best. However, he didn't make a single 2-point basket all season up until he scored the game-winning layup to end the game. His only 2-point shot of the game and of the year. That's
crazy.
And that was a tough one at that speed, getting a little finger roll like layup. That was pretty difficult. But yeah, that's a big one. And before we get to the other upsets, I want to hear your guys' like genuine thoughts. Like, you know, you've had a few days to process Wisconsin's loss. They had a big season. They of course upset at one point. I think Michigan was one in the country, or they didn't lose yet when Wisconsin beat them. They beat Michigan State. They beat Illinois. They beat a couple of big teams.
They beat every single team they needed to beat.
Yep, up until the very end in March Madness. How do you guys think of the Badgers moving forward? But also recapping this game.
I guess we'll just start with, obviously you're losing Nick Boyd, which was your number 1 scorer on the offensive side of the ball, which I love Nick Boyd. I thought he was a great player that we brought in transfer portal-wise. When we first got him, I'm really high on this guy. He's going to be a good pickup from San Diego State, and he was. I mean, he did pretty much the same as John Tonje in levels of just – he was just a great player, I guess. And
Do we still have John Blackwell coming back, or is he –
That's the tough one I was kind of going to get into because Blackwell's the number 2 scorer, but he declared for the draft last year and ended up coming back to the Badgers.
Yeah, I remember that.
And right now his projection is maybe like second round, nowhere near the first.
No.
So he's a junior right now. Personally, I think everybody's going to be back except for the seniors. I see maybe a couple guys transferring that were not important to the team, but other than that, Austin Rapp's coming back, which is our Australian three-point sniper. Billy Auskis will have another spot on this team. Winter will be there. So the only guys you're really losing are Braden Carrington and Nick Boyd, which Janicki will fill the Carrington role, and then guard-wise,
Nick Boyd's going to be a little tough to
it's going to be tough. I think that's when they can make a splash at the transfer portal because they also got to replace Andrew Rohde too. So I wouldn't be surprised if they make maybe one or two moves transfer portal-wise, but it will be nothing compared like last year where it was like a lot of spots they had to fill.
So you're talking about a lot of roster turnover.
Yeah.
What do we think about the coaching staff?
As much as I want Guard to be gone, because personally I think that his time has come. Because at the end of the day, how many times have you blown it? I mean,
he's a regular season demon, but when it comes to when it matters most, he never
exactly
produces.
And
he's only ever made it to the Sweet 16 with Bo's guys. Like,
the only way, exactly correct. That's what I was going to get into.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, so obviously Bo Ryan's last season was that 2015 run against the Duke in the national championship that they lost.
Yeah.
Then the next season, Guard takes over, and he still has Koenig. He still has Nigel Hayes-Davis. He still has Vito Brown, Zach Showalter. Like, the list goes on.
Yeah.
You lose to Florida, whatever. I feel like the big thing that I'm trying to explain to people is that Greg Gard is trying to find his Frank Kaminsky, and I just think he's forcing it upon these centers that are just nowhere near where Frank Kaminsky is. And it's hard to replace it. It's hard to get the next Frank Kaminsky, but you see
and he was seasoned. Like, Kaminsky played – how many years was he?
That was when 2015 season was his 4th year.
Yeah, he played 4 years.
He was there for
and I
all of it.
understand.
And it was only his 2nd season starting, too. He rode the bench for 2 years.
That's still a lot of time for development.
It's hard to bring in guys and have 4 years of them if they're a good player. Like, at the end of the day, a lot more, it's one and done. You see it all the time now. It happens way too much now, in my opinion, and nobody stays for college ball. But the guys that they have a chance to bring in, they just don't, and they try to develop these guys into being big centers. Like, you look at Michigan. They have Lendenborg, the Big Ten Player of the Year. Purdue had Zach Edey. Like, I feel like we need to have a guy like that. I mean, even go back to Illinois. They had Kofi Cockburn. Like, it's just all these teams have big-name guys, and we haven't had that since Frank Kaminsky, and I just don't understand why. And they keep on trying to force it upon Nolan Winter and Stephen Crowell, and now with Winter being out, it was Billy Elskis and Rapp. And before that, it was just even Ethan Happ wasn't as great as Kaminsky, and they tried to force that upon him, and it's just
I think, too, what's
tough.
interesting is we always have, like, bigger players. Like, obviously, we loved the Tons last year and Nick Boyd. But I agree, we've never had that, that level of what Frank Kaminsky had in that 2015 year. The other big upsets that happened so far in March Madness, 11th-seeded VCU beat 6th-seeded North Carolina. That was in the first round. I selected that in my brackets. That was a little shock even for me. VCU actually overcame a 19-point deficit, which is the 6th largest comeback ever in NCAA tournament history. There was another big upset that happened too. 11th-seeded Texas, they beat 6th-seeded BYU in the first round, which wasn't like a shock to me.
A lot of people at BYU going far.
the band stuff.
Really?
Yes. One of
Because
my
of AJ
friends.
DeVansta, yeah.
One of my friends had him winning it
Oh,
all.
that's right. I forgot he was on BYU.
BYU could have done. I had Vanderbilt too. That was another one that I thought that they could have been
Yeah,
a good
I
team.
thought Vandy was going because they upset. Didn't they upset Florida in the SEC tournament right before March Madness?
But even then, like Texas was very surprising. Tennessee's
Okay, here's my thing with Texas. I was I was at over spring break. My girlfriend's relatives where we stayed at, they're all Texas fans. And I watched the play-in game against NC State with them. Texas looked horrible. Like, they couldn't do anything. They only won that game because NC State handed them the game. But, like, no one could make shots. No one could rebound for crap. And I'm like, they were a fringe team at best. How are they going to go in and beat BYU? And then to beat Gonzaga in the second round, 3-seeded Gonzaga.
And to be fair, sometimes that's all you need for a team is to have that kind of punch in the face, and then you kind of
Punch
get
in the
pushed
mouth, yeah.
back, and then you just come back even harder. Like, I mean, I just feel like that's
Duke
how
had
this
that with Siena in the
exactly,
first round.
and
They're on the
I
ropes.
feel like that's how this Texas team kind of works, is that they got punched in the face, come back, you beat a good BYU team, they beat a good Gonzaga team. They could very much beat this Purdue team and go face possibly. I mean, this is, in my opinion, these 2 games, Duke and St. John's, Arizona and Arkansas. I mean, that is what you want to see in March Madness. Like, those games are going to be very exciting. I'm not really high on Michigan and Alabama quite yet, or Illinois. Houston.
Alabama.
Michigan State was
destroyed
a
Texas.
disappointment to me, too. I had them going to the Sweet 16 in Michigan State.
Oh, Michigan State.
I mean, they're
I
not
forget
out
who they
yet.
lost to. They lost to Louisville.
No, they
No,
beat
they're out.
Louisville.
They
beat
beat Louisville. They're still in the tournament.
Who was it that was?
You South Florida? A lot of people
South Florida, yeah.
a lot of people had South
I had
Florida.
them beating Louisville.
South Florida. See, a lot of people, they pick
That's
the
right,
hot
that's
team. So South Florida, they went on and they won their whole conference championship.
No, I thought they lost that game. Did they lose?
I thought they won.
Who they play in that? I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, I mean, there's been some upsets so far. After you figured this out, I was going to ask you guys, not a 1 or 2 seed. Give me your dark horse candidate to win the tournament this year, the men's tournament.
Out of what's left?
Out of what's left, is it a 1 or 2 seed?
I don't think Iowa's got it in them. I mean, now they
No.
played great against Florida, but I think Florida was the worst 1 seed.
Yeah. That's not crazy.
I'd say dark horse.
Could make a push.
Ooh, Nebraska. They got their first ever
Jesus,
tournament
roll
win
them.
this
Would
year.
you still consider St. John's a dark horse? I don't know. I don't really think so.
I don't think you can because you look at it. St. John's is not a 5th seed. They should have not been a 5th seed.
No.
I don't know
They
why
got.
beat UConn in the conference
I know they got
championship.
it really.
You don't have to include them. Like, I was going to say Arkansas. I don't think they're a dark horse, but they're a 4 seed.
I would say Texas. I mean,
Texas
they
is-
really could. Honestly, if they beat Purdue,
There's no.
Jacob, I mean, let's say Arizona loses to Arkansas, they very much could beat Arkansas. I don't think they'll beat Arizona, but I think they match.
I'm not
really
going to
good
lie.
against
Arizona
Arkansas.
did not. They didn't wow me, and they were playing Utah State. They just allowed Utah State to get back in that game in the second half, and then they ran away with it again. But like, that's a little concerning for me. But I'm just saying that because I didn't have Arizona in my Final Four. So, but that's all we got for March Madness and for the March Madness recap, guys. In a few days, actually, before this episode airs, the MLB season is starting up. What were you gonna say?
I was going to talk about the Kentucky Santa Clara game real quick.
Oh,
if we
do
could.
it.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Kentucky
do it.
was another
Okay,
one.
so this is my story to the game. I just want to tell you real quick. I woke up. It was the first game of the second day, and I woke up at 10 o'clock, and I went out. Went out to my living room, turned it on, and I fell asleep. I fell right back asleep. Missed the whole first half. Turned on the other game. I forgot what game it was. Then I fell asleep again. That game went to not to overtime, but went to halftime. So went back to the Kentucky Santa Clara game. Missed all of the second half except the last 30 seconds of the second half.
Really?
I wake up and Santa Clara hits that shot, and I'm like, oh my God, step back 3, like that's the game. And then Uwe for Kentucky, half court prayer, buzzer beater, ties it up, and then they won in overtime. Ho ho
Are you
ho,
so good at that,
Green
Jacob?
Giant.
Ho ho ho. Green Giant. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, sorry, I didn't want to. I just want to talk
No,
about
that's
that game
cool.
real quick,
Yeah,
but
that was crazy. I saw that in the airport. So.
Yeah, it was a good game.
I
But
saw
yeah,
that in Orlando. But yeah, I was just saying the Brewers season, Major League Baseball is starting this week. Opening day is Thursday, where the Brewers are going to take on their first series against the Chicago White Sox, not the Cubs. Throwing out the first pitch is Packers quarterback Jordan Love. I'm excited for the Brewers just because last year, the 2018 team I'm very nostalgic for, but last year was probably my favorite Brewers season.
easily. I thought.
Yeah.
I felt like it just obviously it's a historic team.
And it's funny because the way it started, we looked like we were going to be terrible.
Liam Stats.
What were we,
remember
like
that.
0-10,
I'm not
0-5, 0-5 to start the year?
Yeah, we lost like our first 4 or 5 games.
And like the torpedo bats, we were like
Yeah.
freaking
Well,
out.
that's what people said. And then we played. I think it was who did we play first? The Yankees.
We
Or the,
played the Yankees, then the Royals.
Then when we played the Royals, the first game of the Royals, we lost, and I was like, it's wraps. It's over. But I'm glad we start the season in Milwaukee this year. I'm worried. I'm glad we start the season in Milwaukee this season. Or start the season in Milwaukee. That's kind of what I said.
No, it's been a while since that's happened,
Yeah.
for sure. But no, it should be fun.
Yeah, the Miz starting pitcher.
That's former Brewers pitcher Shane Smith. He was a Rule 5
Really?
pick for
Jay
the White
Love
Sox.
opening.
What are we thinking about our pitchers this year? I like our infield a lot. I like our outfield.
I think we got a really well-rounded team. Blake Perkins got sent down to AAA, so they're sticking with Brandon Lockridge as backup center fielder. Garrett Mitchell is back. Hopefully he'll be healthy this
He
year.
just bombed a 102-mile-an-hour fastball at the park the other night.
But Jake Bowers, that's the guy I want to watch. I want to watch first base this year. And third. First and third. Those
So
are
what's
the
Vaughn going
corners.
to do?
What?
What are we going to do?
Vaughn and Bowers are going to do platooning, and I don't blame it because, I mean, Jake Bowers, you saw it in spring training. He's batting over 450 right now, multiple home runs. He looks very good at first base, along with Andrew Vaughn, of course, who had a great season last year since being traded from the White Sox to the Brewers. So, first base and then third base, I'm keeping an eye on it because, you trade away Durbin, you sign Renifo, and then you have Andrew Fisher in AAA right now.
Oh, Andrew Fisher.
He's so
Yeah.
good.
Oh, who's the guy that we got from the Mets in the Peralta trade? Didn't we get Sprout?
We got Sprout, and then we got Jet Williams.
Because I think he's going to be on the roster.
Sprout is going to make the opening.
Is-
We have like one of the top prospect.
Jet Williams, center fielder, shortstop. He can play pretty much anything.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, that's all we got today. However, sneak peek, next week's episode. Can I get a little drum roll? We've got our first Mock Draft Monday. We're coming back.
Boy.
Yes, sir. I know that's some of our favorite episode of the year. We're doing the NFL mock draft. Our first one, we'll do another one, and then we'll do a final one probably for Telethon, which is also in a month. Pointer Studios, we've got our third annual Telethon that is medieval themed. We've got jousting. We've got media studied for Lord of the Rings and all other type of medieval fantasy stuff. It's going to be a ton of fun. But that's all we've got. And, of course, big shout out to Lexi Hall helping us out today in the fishbowl. Thank you very much. We're glad to be back from spring break. Thank you, Cole Schneider and Brett McNamara. I have been Jacob Spoerl. From all of us here at Sports Point, we'll see you next time.